Farmall Cub, or International Cub, or simply Cub as it is widely known, was the smallest tractor manufactured by International Harvester under either the McCormick Deering, Farmall, or International names from 1947 through 1979 in Louisville, Kentucky. The two major variations of the Cub were the Standard Cub and the Lowboy Cub, also known as the Cub Lowboy. They are recognized by their distinctive IH red or federal yellow color schemes. In the late 1950s, sales of the Farmall Cub shifted from agricultural purposes to industrial purpose. IH capitalized on the shift, and the standard color for the Cub changed from that familiar IH red to federal yellow in 1960, with IH red as an option. In 1963, International Harvester changed the grill of these tractors to a flat grill style and dropped the Farmall name in favor of International. In 1981, the last production run of Cubs were painted IH red. The market of this little tractor was the small acreage farmer, and it was designed by Farmall engineers in the years following World War II to replace a horse or mule for farming purposes. The tractor was offset to the left, while the driver's seat and steering wheel were on the right. This concept was called Cultivision, resulting in a clear view while working in the fields. The Cub sat on a 69 1/4 inch wheelbase using a 4-cylinder C60 gasoline L-head engine. At 1600 RPMs, early versions of the C60 engine produced 9.25 horsepower on the belt and 8 at the drawbar. Starting in the 1960s, Cub engines steadily increased power with higher rated RPMs, peaking at 15 horsepower. IH ended production of the Cub at the Louisville, Kentucky plant in 1981. In total, over 245,000 Cubs were manufactured between 1947 and 1981, making the Cub arguably the most popular small tractor in history. Due to their versatility, many Cub tractors remain in use on small farms well into the 21st century, including the one seen here in this video. Let's learn more about this little guy. Hey, welcome back to Sweet Tea Farm. I'm here today with my father-in-law, Mike Lain, who's gonna tell us about his International Cub tractor, otherwise known as the Farmall Cub. So why don't you go ahead and tell us about your little buddy here.
All right, this is a International Farmall Cub. These little tractors were first introduced in 1947 for a kind of a truck patch type operation, and some of the 1947 models are still running. You can still buy all the parts to keep them going, completely rebuild them, or just do periodic maintenance on them. This little guy here is a 1966 model. I bought it about 15 years ago down in Arkansas. It's west of Rising. And I've gone in and rebuilt the carburetor. I put a clutch and pressure plate in it, overhauled the brakes. I converted the generator system over to an alternator and was able to do away with the voltage regulator, which makes it run a lot better. 12-volt system, all the lights and brakes and everything work on it. And I've been maintaining our garden. I came over to help my daughter with hers today to get a little grass out of it. And what's really impressive about these little tractors is you can plow really close to whatever is planted in the row and just idle, and the governor system on them will continue to produce enough power just to let it roll along. So it's really good little garden tractor. Last year it was running a little hot on me, so I got some Radiator Flush, and I flushed the radiator out myself. If anybody has one of these older tractors and they've never done that, I highly recommend to go in and get some good Radiator Flush and flush the radiator out and keep it running cool. And that's about all I've done to the little tractor. It's really good when you're doing your plowing your rows in your garden. One of the main things is to get your plows set up correctly. You can probably see I got my middle plow kind of canted where it will pile dirt up around the rows. These little plows here get right next to the plants out there. The next set of plows will kind of cant a little dirt over, build the row up, and the back plows will just wash out the middles to keep them opened up. Like I said, it's a 14 horsepower. The first ones that came out were 8 horsepower. Now they're newer models, like this one is 50 something years old, but we call it a newer model Cub. They up to 14 horsepower. It has a PTO system. The PTO system is rated at 11 horsepower. You can put belly mowers on it and various different kind of equipment and whatnot to go on these little guys. I put a voltmeter on it rather than an amp gauge when I converted it over to a alternator system and did away with the voltage regulator. Pretty simple to operate. Have a throttle control here, and again you can put it in the lowest idle setting and it will still just pull those plows right through the ground pretty deeply. This is the hydraulic system that lets the plows up and down. Like I said, I've rebuilt this carburetor 5 or 6 years ago and it's still running just great. Little tractors start really good. You keep the points adjusted on them, clean the plugs about once a year, and should not have any trouble out of it. Always double check that they're out of gear because they will start in gear. There's no safety protection on them. I'll start it up here real fast for you, show you that it really starts easy. They run about 1800 RPMs, full throttle. They have 3 forward gears and 1 reverse. And they're just great little tractors. I don't know what else I could tell you about it.
All right, well thanks for sharing the information about your International Cub tractor.